This bike is stuck in the middle. It's almost 30 years old, and it's in great shape, but it's riddled with contradictions. It still has rim brakes, and it rolls along on 26-inch tires. The busy cockpit, narrow handlebars, and clunky 3x drivetrain scream 90s mountain bike. But take a closer look. It has modern seat tube diameter, and a threadless 1 1/8 inch headset and steer tube. The sloping top tube gives it a look a lot like our modern slack hardtails. This bike was caught in the transition from retro to modern, so let's finish the job and bring it fully into the future. Hey everybody, welcome back to Village Bike Kitchen. I didn't think I'd be working on another project so soon, but here I am. I saw this bike, I had the opportunity to get it, and I had to do it. I had to do it for a few reasons. One, it's an awesome bike and it's in great shape. It's a Joe Murray designed frame, and there's something really peculiar about this bike. It's sort of stuck in between the original retro era and modern mountain biking, and I'll show you what I mean by that as we go throughout this video. I think this project's gonna be at least a 2-part series. There's a lot I wanna get done. Today, I'm just gonna tear down the bike and clean it up so it's all ready for a rebuild. And while I do that, we'll talk a little bit about Joe Murray, the history of voodoo, and some other interesting things. So if that interests you, sit back, relax, and I'm gonna get started. Alright, let's get this bike in the stand and get started. While I strip the bike, I'm gonna go over some stuff about Joe Murray and what the plan is for this build. I'm really excited to dive into this project. Like I said, I want to bring this bike fully into the modern era. But since it's a Joe Murray designed frame, I want to rebuild the bike in a way that pays homage to Joe Murray's career as both a racer and a mountain bike designer. I'm sure most of you are tracking who Joe Murray is. He's from Marin County, California, where many argue mountain biking was born. With no helmet and a pair of old jeans, he started racing as a teenager on an old Schwinn cruiser he had upgraded with drum brakes and a derailleur. Definitely save this mud guard. This is pretty cool, and I think it's going to fit in with what I'm trying to do. Early on, Murray was not as famous as other people from this era, like Joe Breeze or Gary Fisher, but that changed pretty quickly. In 1984, Joe Murray won 15 races, including 8 in a row, and he finished as the National Off-Road Bicycle Association National Champion. He won his second title the following year, winning an astonishing 12 consecutive races, a feat that, as far as I know, has not been repeated by another male racer. In his almost 10-year career, he won 73 races and was one of the original people inducted into the first class of the Mountain Bike Hall of Fame in 1988. Despite his career as an elite racer, Murray is probably better known now for what he has contributed as a bike and component designer. I'll be able to save a lot of these parts. I'm not going to use them on this build, but they'll go right into the bin, and we'll have a build in the future. And plenty of stuff to use. After he retired from racing in 1990, he made a name for himself as a test rider for Shimano components. He also designed tires for several different companies, as well as forks, stems, seat posts, and other components. Then notably, he drew the geometry for one of the first titanium mountain bike frames. Eventually, he designed mountain bikes for Marin, Merlin, Kona, and eventually Voodoo, a company he still owns, at least in part. Which brings us to the plan for this bike. The plan is to bring this bike the rest of the way into modern times, but to do it in a way that Joe would hopefully appreciate. I can't change some parts of this build. We will stick with 26-inch tires, of course. I do have the option of going to a suspension fork, but I think I will keep this bike as rigid for now, and maybe come back to the suspension fork idea for a future project. Other than that though, I'm going to modernize this bike in every sense. I will completely redo the cockpit with a shorter mountain bike stem that supports a 31.8mm handlebar diameter. Because of the standard seat tube diameter, I think we can even get a dropper post on here. As for the drivetrain, in a 2008 interview with Mountain Bike Action, Murray said he pushed Shimano to design a 1x drivetrain, hoping to beat SRAM to the punch. Unfortunately, SRAM still got to the market first, but Shimano did follow suit eventually. Been getting comments about using my wrenches upside down. I think you're supposed to put all the force on the non-moving side so you don't mess the adjustability part up. Actually, you should probably move the pedal first, huh? So let's redeem that bit for Joe on this bike and throw on a 1x Shimano to this build. Probably Q's, but maybe Dior. We'll see what I can find. That just leaves the brakes. I'm gonna do something a little bit out there that is high risk, high reward. I'll leave that reveal to a future video, so stay tuned. Anyways, I love simple bikes and I love the single color on the frame. The bike already has a black headset and seat post collar, so I'm going to make sure the rest of the components I add are black as well. I think the black and orange will look striking and clean. So that's the plan for this bike. The goal is not to make this old bike look like a brand new one. I still want it to look unmistakably like a 90s Voodoo. The orange steel frame, the 26-inch wheels, and Joe Murray's original geometry will remain at the center of this build. The modern parts should simply make it cleaner, more capable, and easier to ride. But before any of those new parts can go on, all of the old ones need to come off. And there is still one fairly important component standing in my way, the bottom bracket. I have my first legitimately stuck bottom bracket. The problem is worse since I have a cheap broken bike stand, forcing me to use the ground as leverage. I need this square taper bottom bracket out because I plan to use a modern Holotech bottom bracket and crankset. I had a really stuck bottom bracket, so I tried this side and I broke the plastic. So I'm gonna have to get the other side off and punch this side out. So, let's see. Unfortunately, this thing is not coming out. That bottom bracket is jammed on there and there's nothing I can do about it right now. So, let's fix what I can fix right now. Look how dirty this frame is. There's 30 years of gunk all over this frame. It's just everywhere. Forgot to remove the bottle cage, we'll do that. All right, let's clean this thing up. While there's a lull in the action, there's something we have to talk about. Something happened recently, and actually, it's your fault. The channel got monetized. I started Village Bike Kitchen as somewhere to document my builds and rides. I hoped a few people might watch, but I assumed that would mostly be my friends and family. But thanks to all of you who have watched and subscribed, it turns out we have built a fun little bike community here, and it has attracted enough followers and accrued enough watch hours to be monetized by YouTube. So what does that mean for the channel? Will there be big changes? Actually, no. I'm going to keep making the same videos I always do. And the best way to support the channel is still completely free. The best thing you can do for the channel is watch the videos all the way to the end, give them a like, and join the conversation in the comment section. YouTube also offers channel memberships, but right now I don't want to charge for perks unless I have something genuinely worthwhile to offer. So let me know what you would value from a membership, and maybe we can build something together. YouTube also offers a super thanks button just under the video. It's basically a way to say thank you to those of us that make videos. If you choose to do that, the money does go straight to me, and I'll likely spend it on parts for builds and coffee and cake on rides. For now, I owe all of you a huge thank you. This has been so much fun, and I'm excited to keep it going. Let's get back to this dirty frame. Okay, everybody, that's it for part one. Thanks for watching. As you can see, the bike is clean, it's torn down, it's ready to be rebuilt. Unfortunately, I'm not ready to rebuild it. If you remember at the beginning of this video, I said I thought this was a bike that was stuck in between eras. So the rebuild is going to focus on bringing this thing into the future. But to do that, I have to have my buddy help me out with some framework that I'm not capable of doing alone. So he's going to do that. And while he's working on that, I'll try to collect all the parts. And hopefully by the time I get the parts, he's all done. And we'll have part two of the rebuild and get this thing out on the trails. Thanks, everybody. I can't wait to show you what I have in store for this thing.